What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video today. And today we have another challenge video. You guys seem to really enjoy the Jensen Button Monaco challenge I previously did before the Monaco Grand Prix, so I thought I'd do another one here at the Canadian Grand Prix. This time we're going to be driving as the homeboy himself, Lance Stroll, the Canadian, in the Williams car. And as you can see by the title clearly, we're going to be trying a last question mark challenge. So with Jensen Button, we tried to get points because that's the kind of realistic aim for McLaren there at Monaco. Obviously, you'd like to think the Williams car could get consistent points if it qualified well. So the challenge is just to try and see how far we can get up this grid from P20, which is last on the 2017 grid. Obviously, kind of, I would say, a semi-realistic challenge perhaps, because we've seen Lance Stroll get knocked out quite a few times in Q1, so he's used to being, you know, further towards the back, towards P20, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we've got the 2017 mod installed, the same one I use for my career mode here today, so the Williams car is definitely not going to be the best car on the grid by any means, but we can try and see what we can do in the opening few laps. Maybe try something a little bit different with the strategy, I don't know, maybe start on a harder tyre, or just go a little bit longer on that first stint. But either way, there we are with Lance Stroll there on the grid, and we're here in P20 to kick off this challenge. 25% race, so short and sweet, and very, very pressurised to try and get this car up the grid. We're going to 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're on the way. A good start there against the Sauber of Pascal Wehrlein. Ericsson's getting bogged down, trying to go down the middle of Vandoorne. Nice swoop to the left-hand side, slice through those 3 cars. We go 3 wide, I think that will be, into turn 1 there on my right-hand side. Then we try and get a bit more grip round the outside, get a bit of a wider line around the outside of Fernando Alonso. We go 3 wide here with Alonso and a Toro Rosso on the inside of Kvyat. We're going to go round the outside into the first chicane, very, very close up, but we narrowly just about get that, and then Vandoorne sneaks through. I think a little bit of a collision with Alonso there, so I think Alonso may have just had the back end step out on him, but now we chase after Nico Hülkenberg straight away. We're going to make a little pop down the inside of the hairpin. Very opportunistic here, but just like I did with the Jensen Button challenge and these sort of challenges, you can't waste time at the beginning faffing around. If you see the place, you see the gap, you have to go for it to try and get it, otherwise you will be bogged down, especially with the 2017 mod. The mod has kind of tried to simulate the kind of drag and dirty air, so you really do need to start getting the places quite early on if you could try this sort of challenge with the 2017 mod. But we get right up behind Kevin Magnussen's gearbox here through the chicane. Bottas set to pass out the Grand Prix, so at the moment he's leading the Grand Prix, so we'll see how that goes in real life. Let me know your predictions, by the way, for the real life Canadian Grand Prix in the comments below. Speaking about that, but we go round the outside of Magnussen. Pretty nice move there, actually, round the outside. Got the momentum swing off that chicane and kind of just carries you through the entire last straight. And then we move on to the end of lap 2, and once again, being very, very opportunistic there. Caught Grosjean napping a little bit. I get a bit wayward though, because we go side by side then on the exit off the corner, so I have to kind of get my elbows out a little bit. Barge Grosjean to the left-hand side. I'm on the inside line. I'm going to cover off the inside, but then I'm going to move swiftly back onto the racing line to then continue on my charge and try and catch up to the next Toro Rosso car, which will be Carlos Sainz. Obviously, we previously overtook Kvyat on lap 1, but you can see how hard I'm really pushing the Williams car. You can see going opposite lock there on the exit of that chicane. The Williams car, it hasn't exactly got the downforce I wanted through some of these corners, so just wrestling the car through the corners a little bit, but it's got good speed on the straight. So speaking about the straights, we move on just there to later on to that lap 3, open the DRS. Sainz got DRS, but obviously the Williams car, we know, is known for its low drag capabilities, and you know, we've not seen it perform very well on the Monaco Grand Prix just gone, but I would say in real life it should perform a lot better at the Canadian Grand Prix, and definitely here in the mod and on the game it definitely is in a straight line. We have to do a bit of defensive work though, because Sainz does have a little look around the outside there. You can see went to the inside, then cut back to the racing line a little bit, locked up a tad, but it's fine. We're up into 9th place now, but now we can try and chase down Felipe Massa, but actually we are unsuccessful at trying to actually overtake him before he comes into the pits. So Massa, and you can see Ocon there in front of him in the pink Force India, comes into the pits as well, along with a Red Bull car. I think of that must be either Verstappen or Ricciardo, I can't tell which one. And then there we are with the Lance Stroll's car going through turn 1. Then you got the other Force India and Red Bull. Then you got the Ferrari car of Sebastian Vettel, I think that'll be. And then this is Valtteri Bottas leading the way. So I think that must be in Hamilton auto pit on that previous lap. But yeah, we continue on. The next lap, which is I think around lap 6 or 5, I want to say, we've got the rest of the cars coming in. So Vettel, Verstappen then, so it was Ricciardo previously, and then Sergio Perez in the other Force India comes in. We're going to stay out, you can see. We've gone across the line. We're going to go out for one more lap, or even 2 actually, and really stretch out this stint as best we can. And because of that, we're now on lap 8 now with 10 laps to go. We've been stretching our legs in free air, you can see. We're in P1, Bottas second, Raikkonen third. So I think that was not actually Vettel. I think that was Raikkonen. So Vettel must be down the order then somehow. Had some sort of issue. I can't see Hamilton as well on the top order, so maybe those two made a bit of a collision there, which would be quite kind of funny in a way, because obviously those two are doing battle in the real-life championship, and so they come towards here at Canada. Maybe I'm doing a bit of wizardry here and predicting the real-life Grand Prix. I don't know. Let's see if they have a little bit of an altercation. Definitely would be quite exciting. But we go on to a set of super soft tyres with 10 laps to go now, and we can see a lot of cars coming out right beside us. We may come side by side with the Red Bull car or the Force India. It's the Red Bull car of Daniel Ricciardo, and you can see we go side by side through the exit off the pit lane exit for us, and we go around the outside trying to feed this through. I try my best, but the Red Bull just has the superior downforce to keep it through, so Daniel Ricciardo does come out ahead of us then eventually in that fight, but we have jumped one of the Force India cars here of, I think this is Sergio Perez, so we've done really well. We've not only jumped our teammate Massa, you can see in the distance there, we've also jumped both Force Indias, so the overcut worked an absolute treat. Obviously we've seen that in my career mode with this mod. The overcut clean air works very, very well, and so that's exactly what I did in the challenge. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, you know, we have to try something a little bit different to get up the order, and we definitely have done that. So we're now in P6, which is absolutely brilliant there, beating our team at Masu, qualified well. But now we go down the inside on lap 10, very, very close, side by side with Ricciardo, got the DRS open on the previous straight. We're going to try and go around the outside. Ricciardo forces our hand to the outside line. This can be a little bit tricky. I think I have a better entry into this corner, perhaps. I've got the momentum, locking up a little bit, but this time round, second time lucky there, into that chicane, and we get it. Crucially, that time I had my nose a lot further alongside Ricciardo. I was a lot further into the braking point compared to Ricciardo that second time round, so I was actually able to get that move done. Otherwise it would have actually been the same case as that first time round. But then on lap 10, later on that same lap, in sector 3, obviously going down the main straight towards the chicane, you can see behind me was Ricciardo fending off Sergio Perez. I don't get the best entry and exit to that chicane, locked up, then lost the back end a little bit, so Ricciardo is going to get some slipstream. He's got DRS obviously off me because he's within 1 second, so I try and defend a little bit, go quite straighten up in the brake zone, but then crucially I mistakenly go a little bit wide here, and Ricciardo comes out of nowhere and slices his car into turn 2, and then towards here the chicane, he gets it right down the inside. I brake early to try and get a bit of a switchback perhaps, but I also just know I probably have to just leave that corner and kind of give up the position because I just don't have the pace then to actually go side by side with him, don't have the downforce rather. But yeah, very, very odd, very, very good move for Ricciardo there. Sliced through turn 2. I had no clue. He basically caught me napping, which is quite odd because it's very rare to see the AI catch a player out napping. And then you can see here, defending from Sergio Perez, just about made it, and just chopped him off at the apex a little bit there. So we keep P6 for now. And so later on into the Grand Prix, I think this is around lap 15, I want to say, lock up to the hairpin, but we're just pushing hard there. So just trying to push it to the max, really. As I mentioned before, the Williams car doesn't exactly have the downforce I would like in the corner, so it's basically about wrestling the car through. But we all have good speed down this main straight. DRS wide open at this point, trying to catch Ricciardo, trying to catch his slipstream here as he sparks away. We go into the chicane. Good exit this time. No dramas there on the exit. And here we go. Slipstream, DRS wide open. This time we go to the outside. So same place we made the move on Kevin Magnussen. And this time, unlike the one with Magnussen, we actually get the move done before turn 1's apex there. So Ricciardo doesn't quite have the speed. He tries to maybe have a look there, but I chop him off on the exit of turn 2. And so we're up the order once again into P5. You can see no one's ahead of me there. So unfortunately, just like real life, we find ourselves a bit in no man's land, like the Williams car and the Red Bull cars kind of do a lot of the time in this 2017 season. The Ferraris and the Mercedes cars just a bit too fast for us today. And as you can see, Hamilton's in P4, so I'm guessing maybe Vettel's in P3. So quite surprising to see, right? It's basically a 1-2 for the two Finns there. But as I'm talking about that, Ricciardo sends one down the inside on lap 16 there. Very surprising, actually. Caught me off guard there. I wasn't expecting that because I just didn't expect the Red Bull to have that kind of speed down the main straight. But clearly, he had the slipstream there. I didn't get the best exit probably onto that straight. So, yeah, so at the moment, I believe it's Valtteri Bottas, then Raikkonen, Vettel, and then Hamilton, I want to say. We're going to have to see. Or it might be actually Verstappen there in P3. Maybe Vettel's down the order. I'm not too sure because there definitely was 2 Red Bulls in this top flight. But there you go in the top left. Bottas still leading the way. And it is a Finn 1-2 in this Grand Prix so far. But now, let's get back to the action. Our action. We go on towards lap 17. We've got DRS wide open once again to try and re-overtake Ricciardo. So me and him ping-ponging around for position. We go side by side and we just get it around the outside there for Ricciardo and into turn 2 once again, just making sure we chop him off at the exit and he doesn't get a good run on us into this chicane. and we're all good. So now we move on to lap 17 towards the end of Sector 2 this will be. And once again, Ricciardo goes for a move, this time around the outside here. This time we can defend a lot better down the inside. We go side by side, left in the room there, and we just about squeeze them out on the exit. And so we keep P5 for now. That time it was a lot better because we were on the inside. The other time, previous lap, Ricciardo went down my inside, caught me off guard there. That time I kind of realised he was catching up to me, but yeah, surprising to see in this mod that the Red Bull car Ricciardo has the straight line speed actually to get me, because obviously that straight doesn't have DRS, so that's just pure slipstream. But obviously, if you don't know, if you don't watch this game very much, it's a very, very strong slipstream, very unrealistically strong slipstream, so that also may be a factor. But now we move on towards the last lap of the Grand Prix. Ricciardo is going to make another pop down the inside and go very aggressively to push him to the inside. We keep it round the outside, go very, very wide, nearly on the grass, but we keep it for now. Now, it's just about keeping our composure now for the rest of the lap, because we got basically just half a lap to go now as we move on to one of the last chicanes on the lap. Getting a bit wayward though, getting the back end loose. Obviously the tyre wear, so we're going to kick in right back now on the last lap. Ricciardo is actually going to have a look down the inside, and now I want to try and be a bit cheeky here. I actually brake a lot harder than I need to, because that was the DRS point, and I thought I was being clever and I got that point, but then I realised no, the activation point is actually probably a little bit further back. So Ricciardo gets DRS now, so I have to use pure slipstream from this Williams car. But here we go, we're going to try and do it down the inside. We'll go side by side. I have to give Ricciardo the room, so I go very aggressively over the curb, but we make it. We actually go too wide through that chicane. Awesome stuff. And you can see this, the two Force Indians are right behind us. We just about make it across the line for P5 there. So that is going to be a valiant effort, I feel, from P20 to P5 there in Lance Stroll's Williams car. But how close was that? I think there was 4 cars there. It covered by 1/10. You could throw a blanket over them. The 2 Force Indies, the Red Bull of Ricciardo, and then myself crossing the line for P5 down to P7. Absolutely awesome. But it's Valtteri Bottas who wins that virtual Grand Prix. As I said before in the episode, guys, let me know your predictions for the real-life Canadian Grand Prix, and we'll see if I've jinxed it or I've predicted it correctly for some of the things that happened in that Grand Prix. But as always, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly F1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time.